Let's start discussion on to the geography questions on the behalf of Civil Services Gurukul. The very first question is about the NATO countries, the 41st one. This is Series B. How many of the above are the members of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization? Bulgaria, Croatia, Sweden, and North Macedonia are the members. The total members are 32. Austria is not there, and Serbia is not there. Serbia is having pro-Russia mindset. And here, 4 countries out of 6 are the member. Only 4 will be the option there. Now let's come to the question number 42. So this question is a bit troublesome. Definitely, it will remain under contention. Why is it so? Andes Mountain passed through how many of the countries mentioned above? If we see the map of South America, we will come to this conclusion that Bolivia, Colombia, Equator, and Venezuela, these are the 4 countries through which it passes. But if we see the layer tinting map, you will find the light brown color of the cordillera is there in Brazil also and in Paraguay also there. Right? Here we have to go for whether there are 4 countries or the 5 countries. Chile, Argentina, Peru, Bolivia, Colombia, Equator, and Venezuela. These are the 7 countries. And keeping all those 7 countries in mind, Brazil and Paraguay, these are the wrong options. We will go for the 4 countries. This is the right option here. Right? What are the other 3 countries? Chile, Argentina, and Peru. We'll go for the only 4. Total 7 countries are there. And the remaining 3 countries are Chile, Argentina, and Peru. 2 countries which we have taken away, Brazil and Paraguay. But if you see your Oxford atlases, you will find the layer tinting, the light brown color goes into these 2 countries also there. But here we are going to take the option 4 countries. Taking away Brazil, taking away Paraguay. Question number 43 talks about the lakes through which does the equator pass? None. The first one is below equator. That is there in Africa. And the lake Tonle Sap, that's a part of Mekong Basin in Cambodia. This is above 10 degree north. And Patos Lagoon is the part of the southern hemisphere in Brazil. So none of the 3 lakes through which equator passes. So here we'll go for none. The D option. So this is from the human geography. This is a bit peculiar one, maybe out of the reach of every person. We normally do the food grain crops and spices and pulses and the oil seeds we do collectively. A bit difficult one on the turmeric. All the 3 options are correct. India is the largest producer, exporter of the turmeric. 30 and more than these varieties are grown in India. And these are the states where turmeric is grown. All the 3 options are correct. All the 3 options are correct. Now, the question number 45, the 45th question, this is about the continental drift theory. This was an expected question this time. The first and the second and the third, all the 3 options are correct. Since we know that there are a number of shields, the western shield of Africa is extended into Brazil. It means the ancient rocks of the Brazil coast matches with of the Western Africa. This is correct one. The gold deposits of Ghana are derived from Brazil plateau. When the two continents lay side by side, this is also correct one. Again, this same shield is there, that is onto the western part. So this continues there to the Brazilian side. Sometimes we call Bor-Emma plateau. And the third one, the Gondwana system of sediment. We normally talk about the tillite, Tillite. This is a pressed moraine, and it has been found on South America, Africa, Madagascar, Saudi Arabia, Peninsular India, Australia, and Antarctica. They have written 6. If they had gone for 7, even then it would have been the correct one. The Gondwana system of the sediment from India is known to have its counterparts in 6 different landmasses of the southern hemisphere. This is perfect one. I will go for all the 3 statements correct. So I will go for first, second, and third. Since this paper has been picked up here from the internet, right? We'll go for the first, second, and third, the C option, not the D, C option there. Come to the 46th one. The amount of dust particles in the atmosphere is more in the subtropical and the temperate areas than in the equatorial and the polar regions. This statement is perfectly fine because we have all the tropical deserts, subtropical deserts, and the mid-latitudinal deserts. And definitely, wind is the agent of erosion, and the airborne particles are maximum. So dust particles will be in abundance in these areas. First statement is correct. Why not on the equatorial areas? Because daily rainfall takes place and the dust particles settle down. And polar areas, barely any land is exposed. It is a cryospheric land under the snow and ice cover. Second statement, subtropical and temperate areas have less dry winds. I have problem with this less. If they have written the dry winds, I would have accepted it. Less dry, it means that subhumid condition, humid condition. So this statement is a bit inadequate. I will go for the statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is not correct. So here, I will go for the option statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is not correct because of this less word that has been added. They have gone for the D option, we'll go for the C option there. Come to the question number 47. This is straightway from your NCERT part. This is the month of January. Northern hemisphere. Isotherms bend equatorwards while crossing the landmasses and poleward while crossing the oceans. This is a perfect statement. Let's assume that we are having 20 °C isotherm. If it is there onto the land, onto the water body, it will be a bit higher towards the polar areas. Isotherms will bend poleward over water bodies. And isotherms will bend equatorward onto land masses. Statement 1 is correct. And statement 2 justifies it. What does it say? In January, the air over the oceans is warm. We always say first the surface is heated up, then the air is heated up by conduction, convection, and re-radiation. Assume that this statement says that air is heated up over the water masses, over the water bodies. This is perfect. Why? Because of the specific heat concept. Lands are liberal, water bodies are conservative. And land takes less time to cool down and heat it up, and water takes time to acquire heat and release heat. When in the month of January, this is winters, lands are cold, right? But the water bodies are warm. So both the statements are correct. So here I will go for both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 2 explains the statement 1. I will go for the first option there. Question number 48. In the context of the effect of water on the rocks, chalk is known as very permeable rock, whereas clay is as white and impermeable or the least permeable. So this is the statement is, first statement is okay. Second statement, chalk is porous. And third statement, clay is not at all porous. Not at all porous. When it comes to contact of water, it retains water. So this third statement is not okay. So here, what will be the right answer? Answer will be only one of the statements 2 and 3 is correct, and that explains the statement 1. Right? So I'll go for the C option there. Come to the 49. Consider the following statement. Without the atmosphere, temperature would be well below the freezing point. Heat absorbed and trapped by the atmosphere maintains our planet's average temperature. Atmosphere's gases like carbon dioxide are particularly good at absorbing and trapping radiation. Now, again, this question will go for lots of discussions over there. Why is it so? It's not only the atmosphere that maintains the planet's average temperature. This is hydrosphere also there. We always say that 70% of the heat is regulated, transferred by the atmosphere through air masses and the tricellular wind circulation, right? And 30% by the hydrosphere. And here, this 30% is through the ocean currents and the conveyor belt. So second statement, when it says heat absorbed and trapped by the atmosphere maintains our planet's average temperature, this statement is inadequate. But we have to see from the GS point of view. It seems that all the 3 statements are correct. But still, I feel like let's see the catch into the second statement. It's talking about the planet Earth as a whole, but it does not talk about the hydrosphere. There is no explanation given before the 3 statements. To some extent, I feel statement 1 and statement 3 is correct. Statement 2 is inadequate. Hydrosphere part is not added. So here, 1 and 3 option is the most appropriate option here. Most of the people will go for 1, 2, and 3. This question will remain debatable. Since 70 plus 30 is the formula of the heat transfer and the regulation, it's not only the atmosphere that is responsible for the average temperatures of 15.1 or 15.2 that we are having, right? It's the role of the hydrosphere is also there. The geothermal heat is also responsible for that. That is also having a substantial role, nearly 2% at the rate of 1.26 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 6 calories per square centimeter per second. So that geothermal heat is also over there. Second statement seems inadequate. This will be there up to UPSC. They are going to consider all the 3. The gut feeling says, let's exclude the second statement. I will go for 1 and 3. Right? Let's see what the other institutes and the UPSC gives us the answer for this. Now let's come to question number 50. Question number 50 is about Rashtriya Gokul mission. To me, I find both the statements are correct. It is there for the indigenous animals, right? Indigenous animals the bovine animals. If they have written the word bovine animals over here, this would have been appropriate one. Here they have written the cattle and the buffalo. Second statement is okay. In the first statement, the motive is fine, but here they have written indigenous animals. They did not use the word bovine animals. So here again, whether we have to go for both the options, since Rashtriya Gokul mission is there, whether you will go for statement 1, statement 2, if they have given the word bovine, I would have accepted it. The word bovine is not there, right? And here, indigenous cattle and buffalo is mentioned. So I'll go for the second option there. See whosoever the paper is this. Only 2 will be my answer. Only 2 will be my answer. So this kind of catch is there in all the questions. Now after this one, we are having the next question, that is a 52. This is about the BIMSTEC. It is a regional organization, 7 members. Okay, this is fine. It came into existence with Dhaka Declaration. No, this is the Bangkok Declaration. Nepal was the founding member. No. It was Bangladesh, India, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, and Thailand. And second and third are wrong. And the fourth one is okay. India is having transport, tourism, disaster management, and counter-terrorism. Tourism is one of the thrust areas. So it's fine over there. The first and the fourth options are correct. First and the fourth option is the C option over here. Now afterwards we are having question number 57. This is about BRICS. The first statement is correct. The 16th BRICS summit had taken place under the chairmanship of Russia. Indonesia had become the full member in 2025. This meet had taken place in 2024. The first and the third statement are correct. Second statement is not correct. Here the answer is okay. First and the third statement are correct. Indonesia has become the member in 2025. This meet had taken place in 2024. Right? Now let's see this Kho question, 59. It's a sports. It had taken place in Delhi. Okay. And this is Indian men beat Nepal. They had beaten Nepal, but the score is not this one that has been stated. Scores have been interchanged. The men and the women. Both have defeated Nepal. It's okay. But men have defeated Nepal with 54-36 and the women have defeated with 78-40. So here statement 1 is correct. Right? Which one of the following statements are correct? Only one is correct there. For the 59. Thereafter, we are having another question of the sports. 45th Chess Olympiad held in 2024. This is an event of Budapest. They said that Gukesh had defeated Russian player. Russia and Belarus both were banned. How can they defeat the Russian player? Second statement is correct. This boy is of barely 7 or 8 years and he has turned out to be the youngest one. Second statement is correct. First statement is wrong because Belarus and Russia both were banned. So thereafter, we are having question number 72. This question number 72 is again a very controversial one. This is about international north-south transport corridor. B and C statements are odd one out. Now, out of the statement 1 and 4, we have to pick up. It connects Central Asia and Europe via Iran. It's perfectly fine. India to Europe through Azerbaijan, perfectly fine. But the thing is this, which one is, from the GS point of view, the broadest one? If you see the maps which are available onto the internet, your gut feeling will say, go for option 4, India to Europe through Azerbaijan. But this narrows down the scope. Since this is a GS paper, we know that Bandar Abbas is a place through which it passes. It passes through Azerbaijan, Baku. It connects a couple of countries of Central Asia also. It goes to Moscow and the other countries of Europe. So which one is the more valid one? India to Central Asia, India to Europe through Azerbaijan. I feel like we should go for option A. Again, we have to see the UPSC part, right? If you see the atlases, your Oxford or the other atlases, which are normally used for the preparation part, Europe had stopped considering Azerbaijan, Armenia, and Georgia as a part of Europe. They don't even show. These three countries are somewhere the part of European continent. This Caucasus region is shown along with Asia. This Caucasus region and the Turanian plains, collectively, this is the Central Asia. So keeping this thing in mind, first option is more appropriate, right? From the GS point of view. Otherwise, your maps will keep on showing. Let's see how it moves from Iran to Baku to the other places. Baku is the capital of Azerbaijan. I will go for the first option, not for the D, first one. Now we are having another question here. On the World Bank warned that India would become one of the first places where the wet bulb temperatures routinely exceed 35 degrees Celsius. So higher wet bulb temperature means somewhere we are having the higher relative humidities also. So keeping that thing in mind, it will be very difficult for the sweating bodies to be dried up. That cooling impact will not be there. The children and the old people will be suffering from it. Definitely ailments will increase. Tough conditions will be there and the weather will be very sultry. Peninsular India will be having more flooding, tropical cyclones. If the relative humidity will be high, evaporation process will be retarded, surface water will increase. One, and you know that the cyclones, they develop on moisture and the high temperatures. So Peninsular India will turn out to be the right place for the continuation of the tropical cyclones which will come from Bay of Bengal or from the Pacific Ocean or from the Arabian Sea. So both the statements are correct. I will go for both 1 and 2. This is the perfect one. Now, if I see more questions which are there on the geography or the map work, this is question number 90. Question number 90. Very difficult one. This is about the production of the crude oil, refining, marketing, production of the natural gas. This Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulation Board in our country, what exactly it does? What is its domain area? Other than production and production of the natural gas and the crude oil, rest these things, second and third, it does. Question is, activities are regulated by the Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulation Board. It's 2 and 3. Two things. It does not deal in the production of oil and of the natural gas, but it deals in refining, storage, distribution, marketing, and the sale. 2 and 3 deals in 2 only, not the 3, 2 only. So here I will go for the B option. Then let's go for question number 96. Now this is about the longitude, latitudes, time zone. This is the part we always cover. United Nations, United Kingdom, Denmark, New Zealand, Australia. Australia has so many islands in Indian Ocean, in the Pacific Ocean. United Kingdom is having so many overseas territories. New Zealand, Denmark is having Greenland. And New Zealand is having a couple of islands there into Polynesia. So keeping this thing in mind, all are having 5 or more than 5. Someone is having 9, someone is having 5, 8. Brazil is having 4. They have said more than 4 time zones. 4 are there. 4 is there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Other than Brazil, rest all are there. So this kind of question, somewhere you can say help teachers also, those who teach lines of latitudes, longitudes, graticule, grid, time zones, prime meridian, international date line. So this kind of stuff people spend 10 to 12 hours in each batch. So somewhere this question had been asked over there. So teachers are a bit happy that static part has been touched by prelims paper this year. Now we are having another question. This is again a beautiful one. This another in Siberia and Nome in Alaska. They are very close to each other, but in between there is an international dateline that passes. This Siberia part, another, it is onto the eastern hemisphere, and the other one is onto the western hemisphere, Alaska part. And Alaska part is a day behind. If we are having Monday in Siberia, there will be Sunday in Alaska. एक दिन पीछे होंगे वो. तो यहाँ पर first statement is okay. Second statement, when it is Monday in another, it is Sunday in no. या फिर when it is Tuesday in another, it is Monday in no. That's the beautiful question there. We know that the moment you pass international dateline, maybe I said prime meridian earlier, the moment you pass international dateline, what happens? From the eastern hemisphere to the western hemisphere, you gain a date, lose a day. And when you move from western hemisphere, means USA side to Asia side, you lose a date and gain a day. This is the international dateline. Across that, a date changes. If it is Monday on eastern hemisphere, Alaska side, there will be Sunday on the other side, 24 hours behind. Those who have a little bit of doubt, they should read Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne. A small fictional novel is there. So statement 2 is wrong. Now see here, about this, 3 countries are there in question number 99. Botswana is rich in diamonds. Chile is rich in lithium. The lithium triangle is there. Indonesia is rich in nickel. All the islands of the Southeast Asia and of Melanesia, they all are rich in nickel. Right? So here all the 3 are correct. All the 3 are correct. All the 3 are correct. Right? And the last one. Question number 100. How many of the above rows are correctly matched? Sardinia, we know this is of Italy. Sardinia, Lipari, Sicily, Sardinia. Normandy is of France. So matter comes to an end, right? This is of Spain, this is of France, this is of Italy. Things have been changed. So this way, total we are having 21 questions, 2 from the sports, 3 from the international relations, 5, 16 there from the geography. Teacher is happy. Why? Because lines of latitudes, longitudes, static geography, that had been asked. But we were expecting the questions from climatology, the monsoon, did not ask. We were expecting the question from the oceanography, somewhat from the ocean currents, benthic surface. Those questions have not been asked. But still, geography is having its substantial share. International relations, the map work, interface with geography, things have been asked. So this is the silver lining in this paper. And I consider the options are a bit tricky one. People, those who are not contemplated well, gone for the surface reading, might have landed there into the wrong options. Still, the ball is in the court of UPSC. Let's see which way they roll the dice. That's all.